All right, I know how much you love my Architectural Digest reviews, and today we are back with another one. It is Amanda Seyfried's home in New York City. And if you know anything about her, you know that it's a 30% chance that it's already raining. If you do not get that joke, you are too young to be on my channel. Go home, people, because Mean Girls was ahead of its time and honestly, a cult classic. I am one of those absolute weirdos that could probably recite every single line because honestly, it's an amazing movie. But we're gonna get right into this tour. I know this isn't a new tour, but it's new to me, so it's new to you. All right, let's get into this.
Hi, AD. I'm Amanda Seyfried, and this is my
Hold on, Amanda
New York City
Seyfried.
apartment.
Seyfried?
And I'd love to show it to you because it's very cool. My designer architect is Sarah Zames. She's done a great job with my old stone house, and what I wanted here was something that felt natural. This oak wall kind of sets us away a little bit from the kitchen and elongates the foyer.
Foyer, not
And
foyer.
the mirror is
Come on,
essential
get it right.
because you gotta check your look before you leave.
That is probably the quickest foyer tour I have ever seen in my entire life. It's like, boom, here it is, and we're done. But if you know anything about New York apartments, you know how tremendously small they are. And I mean, you know what? It's cute for the most part. You don't really have enough room to have an entrance or a foyer. I'm gonna start things off by saying, I love that AD is actually showing smaller spaces. Like, not every tour needs to be like a 10,000 square foot mansion. It's nice to see like realistic expectations for the average person. And when I say average person, I'm talking about the size of the apartment, probably not the things that are in it, but that's always a good start. The white oak I think is great. I love that the mirror is inset. It has that more like custom look, and then that little tray for your keys, super cute. I have like a huge ring of keys and a giant ass bag that I carry around, so I definitely do not have a spot to drop it when you first come in. But I think they helped create a really nice separate divide between the kitchen by having that panel extended a little bit more. It's really about the small details that matter, especially in a small space. If you've seen any of my tours that I've done before on projects that I've worked on that are small condos, you know every single detail matters. I can't see a ceiling light in this view, but that would have been a nice kind of addition to have something that comes down to really kind of zone in that space because it reduces the ceiling height visually compared to the rest of the space once it kind of expands in.
So this kitchen is open.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Very airy, very light. Honestly, I don't know what this is, but my husband wanted it. Never used it.
We love a pot filler.
But looks stunning in a kitchen. Makes it seem like it's a gourmet kitchen. Is it a gourmet kitchen? One day. But it isn't right now because
She's got
I'll tell you
jokes.
who hasn't cooked here yet. My husband.
That skylight is to absolutely die for. Like I mentioned before, New York City apartments are very small and they're usually very narrow. The fact that she's obviously on a top floor and can have a skylight is major. I think that that is like fantastic. I would love a skylight in my place. If I could have the whole ceiling be glass, I know it's not practical, but it's unbelievably beautiful. I die for natural light in any room. I like that that structural support is painted white or the same finish as the walls. So visually, when you look at it, it just kind of blends into the space. I'm sure it's structural, so you can't actually remove it. So I think that's a really nice detail to help hide it into the background of what you're visually looking at. The white oak island is nice. I would probably repeated this on the upper shelves, so it feels like we have this like sense of repetition. It does pull really flat with all of the white and the white oak only being on the island itself. Even if they did those upper shelves on each side of the hood fan, would have created that little bit of depth in your perception of how you naturally perceive the space. So I think that's one thing I would have changed otherwise. It looks super clean, simple. Obviously it's staged, it's Architectural Digest. I'm gonna reduce upon it because I do not see a bowl of limes, but you know, you can't win them all. The details on the chrome fixtures I think are quite nice as well. It's very farmhouse and like that's what she's going for. Definitely not my style, but I also appreciate that she had the same designer that worked on her home upstate on her apartment. So she has that home away from home that actually feels like you still have that same connection to the design. Like you don't need to have a house that's completely different. In my opinion, I would love to have multiple homes that are all different designs depending on my mood. But I think this is a nice kind of sentiment. Like you're far away from your home and you still have that homey feel even when you're in New York. I got a question for you though, because I would have loved to see an unlacquered brass. I think it would have brought in that beautiful sense of warmth, but once again, that's just me. Let me know in the comments. Do you think they should have stuck with chrome or should they have gone with an unlacquered brass?
we have this amazing
feature, the structural beam.
Which we couldn't get rid of, even if we wanted to. I can do my own wash.
Having laundry
in my apartment,
New York,
which is a luxury.
As she mentioned, luxury.
You know that. The powder room. It's tiny. It's got a pocket door because that's practical. It was Sarah's idea. I was like, do we need a powder room? And she said, yeah, we do.
Pocket door, people. I have been telling every single person, pocket doors are the way of the future, especially if you have small spaces. Yes, they are more expensive to install. They're usually an additional probably $2,000 compared to a swing door, but they are worth it in every single setting. I have never seen a pocket door used in an installation that doesn't serve a purpose and help you save space. From what I can see from the powder room, super cute. Like, is that a Meyer's tomato vine soap that I see? Because that is one of my favorites. It is also a great dupe for the Loewe one that costs $140, but I think that is amazing. The white oak paneling, even that whimsical wallpaper, it feels a little granny, if we're being honest, but I think it's cute. It works with the style that we're really achieving for this overall space to be homey and very personal.
Dinner time is just oil and food on the floor and messiness. And a new stain is made and a new memory is made, and that's just how we have to look at things. I love the curve of the wood here because it just softens everything. I mean, there's just hard edges everywhere all the time. So I love the fact that Sarah wanted to kind of soften it up. Everything's a little softer in certain ways because of the curve of the windows. That softens things, even to the curve of like this custom bookshelf. Oh, this is actually my daughter's like old work. It was right when she started drawing people. This was years ago.
Cute.
My daughter's actually an incredible artist. There is in every room, I guess. There's toilet art, yeah. It's funny,
Toilet
I
art.
actually, in my
Strange,
house upstate, I have like a wool vagina hanging.
Oh,
custom
and
vagina.
a custom
Not
vagina.
kidding. I don't know
Can we
why
say
I like to
vagina on YouTube?
remember that we're all human. And then I have all the
Vulva?
cookbooks that I organized specifically to be closer to the kitchen.
Once again, the farmhouse look is not to my liking. I do like the curve details that they added in because this is a really small space. Having that breakup of monotony between square and rectangle that is like every single shape helps kind of soften the blow of, once again, a small space so it doesn't feel really sharp and really hard, literally. I like that there's this sense of repetition with the arch. It's not just on the window frames. They've added like the subtle curves on the island as well as the bookshelf. I can briefly see these California shutters and they look extremely heavy. Trust me, I love a white oak finish, but having them on the sides of this, in my opinion, it contrasts those arches a little bit too much and it feels forced. I like the white oak frame around the arch, but the shutters I probably would have done in white, so when they're open, they just kind of blend into the walls and it helps emphasize the arch, not an arch and then a square beside it. The shape comparison just feels a little off in my opinion. The toilet art everywhere, I mean, I could say a joke, but the plumber probably flushed it, but that's besides me.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That was a terrible joke.
We really paid homage to these arch windows. I also think that old is beautiful, and if you can restore anything that's that beautiful and that iconic, you should. It's our responsibility. We use this space wisely. We use this space more than any other space because it's the TV room. And I'll show you where the TV is
a giant
in a
floral
minute.
arrangement.
But first,
honestly, it's like the third
another
host of
very
these videos.
essential piece is the table. I had to have it because it's like a circle, so it's soft, and my kids can actually sit around it because it's really low.
Create that nice
this
sense
couch,
of volume,
actually, I
but
bought a
with
little
everything so
before
small.
I moved in, and it was like the first L-shaped couch I've ever bought. I was like, is this really going to fit in this apartment? One of my favorite things is these plugs. There's so
Very
many
clever
places to
doing the
plug
floor
in
outlets.
electricity, and they're so gorgeous. It's so chic. These chairs are actually from my old apartment that Sarah reupholstered. I love antiques. I love mixing antiques with modern furniture. I love it.
We love a
I
vintage
think
queen.
it's such a puzzle. I love the fact that you can just reupholster them and make them look totally different. And the bones are the same. The wood is stunning, and they're so old. This is
She's like
really
opening
cool
them to make sure
because,
they're not
again,
messy.
small spaces. And
Very
I will
clever
be
to
honest,
hide the
we
TV.
never close these. I only close these for you. This guy. Essential. And then these little drawers, there are the toys.
Hide the
We
toys
don't have
away,
to see
always.
them all the time, right? Okay, I'm gonna close these back up. And I'm gonna show you how easy they are.
As it sticks.
We're not gonna use this part, right?
AD, please cut this. No, we're leaving this in if you struggle with the door. I bet you that when they installed this, they didn't leave a gap at the bottom. I would at least want half an inch to have that allowance of the floor not being completely level. That would have fixed the problem. That's a feature that you need to fix. Otherwise, I think the living room is really cute. It feels sophisticated, definitely feels much more vintage for an older crowd, but it has its charm. I will also die on this hill that when I have my own AD tour, I am going to have giant fucking florals everywhere. Branches, like you're gonna walk in and you're gonna walk into a forest, people. I think they look super chic, especially in a space, just to kind of add that sense of volume. Even with the scale and proportion, that's like one of the first things you go to, and then it kind of dissipates. I love that she has so many vintage pieces. The powder blue on that sofa, I think, is a perfect combo with the mustard color on those wingback chairs that are vintage. She said it perfectly. There are great bones in a lot of vintage furniture pieces. They're definitely not for me. They could be for you or for somebody else, but you can breathe new life into them. Find a beautiful fabric that you like, reupholster it, boom, new to you. I love the hidden TV, as I mentioned before. I think it's essential when it comes to designing a space like this that is very farmhouse. And if you see a big black box on a wall, it just detracts from the overall design and the look and feel of this space. So I can really appreciate that they added that extra feature in to hide it away for the most part.
And this is my bedroom. This is the only room that has 12-foot ceilings, and I don't know why. I have my desk and my bed from my old apartment. I have my hands from my old apartment.
That's a little
See?
weird. Are those the
Had
IKEA?
to do it. Sarah's like, you really want the hands? And I was like, I do.
Photo reference beside me.
These
like,
hands are
these
just
look like
special.
the IKEA
I don't know
hands.
where they came from. I don't know if they exist
Or two-offs.
anywhere else. They
They're
feel like one-offs
cute,
or two-offs.
quirky.
But I will also show you, I've never had two doors.
Oh,
I've
so
never
it's a
had
New
two
York
doors.
unit
So
that
this
was
is
two units
a
that
secret. It's a
converted to
secret.
one.
That's
This is really clever. I like that they
Another
did the wallpaper panel that goes over it to just hide it.
just in case.
I love secrets.
I thought that was really fun. I love secrets.
I need to go back to those hands for a second because they literally look like the IKEA hands that have just been like stained dark. I could be wrong. Kind of cute, like I said, quirky, but could you imagine it's dark and you reach for your phone at night and you touch one of those hands and it's in a different position? Like, have you seen The Conjuring? No, I'm not messing with that shit. That's gonna grab you while you're sleeping. I'm sorry I just gave you that visual. Can grab anything. Might give you a splinter, but I don't mind the poster bed. I'm usually not a fan of it. I do appreciate that it's not a full canopy because she said she has 12-foot ceilings, so it feels properly scaled. And even though it's a smaller space, it doesn't feel so off. My only reservation about that poster bed is that it is a dark wood finish. I would have wanted it to be lighter because then your eyes feel like you automatically divide the space into multiple zones because you have those posters coming all the way up. I would have actually swapped it around. I would have liked to see like a white oak bed and darker sheets. That will help kind of ground that space when you first walk in without creating that visual divide, as I mentioned. I do like the darker headboard fabric. I think that assists with it. The wallpaper throughout, very clever, adds to that farmhouse look. I'm gonna give the bedroom designed out of approved stamp, but the only thing I would have swapped out is the bed. I love all of that storage along the side that just hides everything away. Closed cabinets for everything. That's how you keep your space designer looking because it is clutter free. Also, don't have kids. I'm kidding. She obviously has kids, and look, her space looks amazing. Everything is hidden away. Obviously it's styled right now. I'm sure there's toys everywhere otherwise, but to my point.
I have to show you my bathroom because it's the best bathroom I've ever experienced as my own. By NYC standards, it's huge. Like really beautiful, classic, traditional fittings. And the fact is, like, yes, of course we don't keep this open, but it's just so bright.
That bathroom
It's
is like
so
beautifully bright.
So much control with these. It's so pretty. We're using the same marble. It's like everywhere. I've got 2 big medicine cabinets, and these, they give the most beautiful light. I love them so much. It's very zen, very zen.
She is right. By New York standards, that bathroom is pretty dang big. I love that it has so much natural light that comes in. But you know how I mentioned the shutters being white on each side of the arch? Look what they did here. It just blends in the space. That's what I would have done in that open concept space with the kitchen and the dining room, so they don't draw your attention too much, and just emphasize the motif of that arch, because that is the beautiful detail that you want to have your attention drawn to in a space. Medicine cabinets are making a comeback. As much as you hate them, as long as they're recessed and it doesn't look like one of those ones that like comes out of the wall, if you can recess them, absolutely amazing. And I've been saying this for years. Wall sconces on each side of your vanity is going to give you the perfect and the most flattering level of light in any application. Whether you're taking a selfie, you're doing your makeup, or you just want to make sure you look good, that's the secret right there. I'm going to make a comment about the marble. It looks like it's Carrara. Now, Carrara is an unbelievably beautiful and stunning marble. Carrara is also the most porous out of every single possible marble that you could pick. There's a reason why Carrara marble is the stone that people use when they do carvings and intricate details, because it's softer and more malleable, which means more etching and more staining. But in this instance, I think that aged and patinaed look really works well with this farmhouse.
Now I'm going to show you my kids' bedroom, which is actually probably the most fun room. Of course it is, it's for the kids. Bunk beds, ideal New York City living.
For the kids.
This wallpaper, I don't even know what to say. It couldn't be more perfect. And it really gives pops of color. My girlfriends and I are very into architecture and house designs. And we wanted to create a space for our kids to play and explore and make their own inside, but with an aesthetic outside that is pleasing, calming to the parent.
See, this is how you do color in a kid's bedroom properly. And it's done so tastefully because those colors are desaturated. It still feels playful. If they were gonna pull it out and these colors were super saturated, like this is where you trigger a call to Child Protective Services. We do not need it to be a bright blue and a bright yellow and a bright red. I understand color is great for children's cognition and brain development, but you don't need to have those colors everywhere. I also love that she made a comment being like, we're making a house for our kids so they can have the fun inside, but the outside, it needs to be aesthetic. You're my kind of girl, Amanda. We are on board.
So that's my home away from home. Thank you for visiting. I hope you come back.
You know what? That's really cute. This house, it felt sustainable, homey. I like that it had a few little quirky elements to it. It felt very authentic to her. Obviously, I don't know her personally. I love being able to see a space and I can instantly understand what kind of person lives there. Like, she feels so soft-spoken from this video, which is complete opposite of the dumb blonde of Mean Girls. It's completely warped my perception on her. It feels realistic. It feels attainable. It's not there to gloat about look how much money we spent. This is a well-designed space and it's a small space. It's cute. It works for her and for her family. Honestly, I feel like she would be such a cool mom. I'm so jealous of her children. I will say, I was very confused as a gay man watching Jennifer's Body and watching her make out with Megan Fox, because if you haven't seen that, that's a steamy episode.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
That's a steamy moment, not episode. What was I thinking? As I said before, I'm not personally a fan of this style. I think the designer did a fantastic job. It has a sense of balance, has a sense of repetition. It's got good flow. There's subtle contrast. It is aligned with what the goal was. The scale and proportion is a little bit challenging for a small space. That's the only design element that I am not aligned with, especially when it comes to those arches and the shutters that I mentioned earlier. We also have a really beautiful sense of unity that not only feels true to her, but the emphasis of these powdery colors and soft textures are carried throughout, so it feels consistent and cohesive. I'm honestly gonna give this a 6.5 on my personal scale, with it not being my taste. But the designer, I'm gonna give an 8 out of 10 because they pulled everything together for her, and I am super happy. I felt really happy watching this. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you love these 80 tours and you find someone that feels like it represents exactly who they are, you need to see my review on Jennifer Garner's house, because that was another house that I loved watching and I felt so genuinely happy as she's going through and explaining these details. Amanda, same thing. And if you can't wait until next week's video, you can always follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray for all my daily tips and tricks. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do? Stay away from farmhouses. Okay, boom.